Establishing battlefield control. Stand by.
Hello everybody, it's HHC Snowman. Welcome back to the channel. Can everybody hear me? I'm still making sure all my hotkeys are working and I can unmute the mic and mute it and everything. Can everyone hear me? Okay, awesome. You guys can hear me. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Loud and clear. Hey, Nastologic, good to have you on the stream. Luke Danger, always a pleasure. Chase Baker, thank you for all the support on the other channel. Really appreciate it. Trevin Lane, good to have you here. Yeah, like you, I have played this game multiple times as a kid, but I mostly replayed the GDI campaign, so I was more familiar with that. A lot of this is new territory for me as well. By the way, guys, I don't know if you've noticed, we have reached 3,000 subscribers officially. So give yourselves a pat on the back. Give yourselves a big hand. Thank you so much. Never thought I'd get this far. And that applies to more than just this channel. All right, I'm going to restart the whole mission so that we can see it from the beginning.
Establishing battlefield control. Stand by.
Oh. Yeah, if I see my buddy get incinerated by a cyborg commando, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice.
Reinforcements have arrived. Unit lost. Reinforcements have arrived.
Where to? Yes. Where to? Yes. Yes, Cabal.
There we go. I wanted him to hear him say that. Yeah, no, thank you. Subscribers over 3,000. Secondary objective accomplished. All right. Yeah, no, I'm calling it sick. That's what I'm doing. I'm being like, ah. Can I do this without becoming torn in half? I can. All right, let's find some Tiberium.
Infantry reporting. Yes, sir.
All right. That's not the right way to spell Slavic, right? Am I crazy? There shouldn't be a C there, right? Alright, let's see if we can find some Tiberium. Also, I'm gonna save. By the way, update on everything going on with the video essay on when the first Tiberium War actually happens. It is kicking my butt right now. I very quickly... it took me a while. It took me a long time to get the research done, but I got it done. It took me a while to get recorded, but that was super fun. Now, just editing it, I'm just noticing all sorts of things with the lore that I have to do more research on, other things that I have to re-record, and then it's been a pain. I'll be really happy when this video is done and out. Ugh. Like, even little things like everybody in the community just assumed that the Tiberium meteor landed in 1995, and then I found out that, like, actually, it doesn't actually say that anywhere that I could find, other than CNC3's intelligence database saying it was 1995, which may or may not be a good thing, because on the plus side, if you are a pro, the first Tiberium War takes place in the late 1990s, a lot of the objections to that is, like, Tiberium can't spread that fast. But if it doesn't necessarily land in 1995, then you have a lot of time, because you could say it happened in the 80s, which I think Renegade actually kind of implies, but I don't really want to use Renegade as evidence necessarily. But, like, it makes a lot of sense of, like, oh, it maybe landed in the late 80s, and so we have time to actually get to where we need to be at that point. But otherwise, it's like the community for so long has said that the Tiberium meteor landed in 1995. I really don't want to have to change that. And most of my script is already built, like, assuming that is the case. And I'm just... I was already trying to solve 1 year timeline debate, and then I stumbled on a completely different one, and I'm just like, why? Why couldn't Westwood have just set some things in stone for the Tiberian Dawn era? Why is it like this? Luke Danger says there should be some tip to the east. Oksana is the top right corner, if I remember correctly. You can also find a GTA con yard and refinery of the Harvester if you want to try and turn a base builder the long way. Good to know. New terrain discovered. Okay, Oksana's being moved to the main GDI base. I don't know if I took too long or what have you. Nastalogic says, I hear you, even the iceberg videos take a couple of hours these days to research, which most of these 100% correct information. Yeah. Do you do iceberg videos, Nastalogic? Do you have your own channel? I'm actually curious. I would love to check that out if that's the case. Alright, let's save. Luke Danger says, I know the feeling from fanfic writing. You miss some detail, you hit that detail, and suddenly it's all horrific pain of trying to square the circle. Exactly. Exactly. It's just hard to do, because especially since, from what I gather from the Westwood devs, they were making the stuff as they went along. It's not the concrete, ironclad lore that we would like it to be. Reinforcements? It's our reinforcements, right, Cabal? You're not being cheeky. I wish I had radar. Oh, there's a Tiberium field. Ah, no! Here, just keep their attention so they don't destroy this. Here we go. Dang it! Ah, okay, well, we're gonna have to hide from the Titans. Let's get up here, heal up my Cyborg Commando, and then we'll deal with the Titans. Shogun Sam says, also congrats on the 3,000. Thank you, appreciate it. Luke Danger says, yeah, you took a long while. Not sure off the top of my head where she gets moved, though. The lack of radar really does make it hard to find stuff. Indeed. Alright, the Titans will be coming up soon. The new units are in the southwest. Oh, wow, okay. I have to be careful about getting them across the ice, though. I think the buggies and the attack cycles should not have a problem, but everything else will. Gosh dang it. Can we move you guys somewhere else so you don't get pwned? Does anybody remember pwned? That was the thing for a while. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not nice to the neighbors. Come on. Just heal up a little bit more. Alright, this is going to have to do. They just keep making Titans, or is there a finite amount of... I love that the voice for Slavic is... gosh dang it. I could have done that better. The voice for Slavic in-game is the same as for the Ghost Stalker. I just think that's hilarious. What? Okay, don't do that. Don't. Ah, for the love of Pete. Okay, well, we can do this better. Oh, hey, we got Aussie in the chat from the Super Challenge Bros. Hit and run. Gosh dang it. Can you do this? Can you? You know, I could probably get away from them and just heal up. I feel like that would probably be better. Here, you guys. Everyone in. You up here. Let's just heal up and avoid them until we can get our Cyborg Commando healed.
Waiting orders. Yes, sir. 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 Yes, sir.
There we go. Oh, hello. You walk into my domain, and you think you can defeat me. Alright. Yeah, Chase Baker, we gotta watch out for that. Alright, back to where we were. Alright, I think we can get you guys across with no problem. Oh, shoot. Dude, can you not do that? I really want to keep that thing alive, if at all possible. Oh, shoot! Hello. Don't do that. Yeah, I got a good amount of decent damage on that. Is there any way to tell this guy to not attack? Careful about the road to the east. There's defenses with an RPG turret. If you go south of it, you could bypass the cliffs to go after the power plants. Nope, stop it. Thank you. By the way, I was looking up a little bit of the lore on the cyborgs. It was kind of interesting that basically all of the cyborgs are mutants that have been captured and forced to be cyborgs, which I thought was really interesting and was basically what started the conflict with these guys, with the Forgotten in the first place. I read that from the press kits that were sent out around the time that, I believe in summer of 1999, when the game first was being released. It's freely available online, but there's some really cool stuff, including interviews with Brett Sperry and a few other things. So, very cool stuff. We'll wait for the ice to recover before we send the other one out. Yeah, no. Teskong, that's very, very, very true. It's called the Cyborg Commando, but it's really basically like an infantry-based Mammoth Mark II in a lot of ways. So, no, don't load. You ever guys do that where you mix up loading and saving and it just screws over your whole mission? Don't do that. What happened? What happened to the Super Challenge Brothers? It looks like they were just gifted a membership. Either that, or they assigned themselves a membership. Anyway. Geek Defensive Initiative. That's a fantastic name, by the way. Alright. Let's see what we can do. Because this thing's almost dead and it's not repairing itself. So I kind of want to see if I can destroy this. Oh, that's cool. Just a base destroyer in every sense of the word. Let's get you guys over here. I just love the way that Nod looks. I think that's something that I never really got in the Tiberium Wars era, is that they look crazy and like really weird, but like it doesn't fit the era. Like it fits here because we're in a post-apocalyptic, wasteland. Like if Nod wants to look like weird scorpions, who's gonna stop him, right? Whereas in Tiberium Wars, it feels almost like War on Terror, but slightly futuristic. And it never felt right to me the way that a Nod base looks in that environment, because it just feels too much in a world where they were very like scrappy and don't have as much resources to work with. Why would they waste resources making their scorpion tanks look like that? I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but I just feel like the Tiberium Wars seems like it was trying to go back to Tiberian Dawn in a lot of ways. And if you're gonna do that, but like maybe strip back the aesthetic so it looks more like Nod from the Tiberian Dawn era, where they were a bit more like standing on business and looking more like a third world paramilitary. So I felt like they were trying to have their cake and eat it too, and I just never really. It felt incongruous to me. Yeah, and Astrologic, why was Nod gray in Tiberian Dawn? I'm not sure, because you can't play that way in skirmish. Like if you play against the AI in multiplayer and you select Nod as red, everything will be red. Like it's not just going to be the building, it's also the infantry. You can't have it the way that it's scripted in the single player. I think that was just done to give them like gray urban camo, which I do like that look. Like Tiberian Dawn's look, I really like. I like that this is Nod before they've gone like full fanatical, and you get the impression that a lot of the people that fight for Nod don't even understand the full like theological implications of like that it's a religious movement. I like that it's more like, yeah, frick the West. That's kind of their whole deal, and I think that is kind of cool. Whereas by the time you get to Tiberian Sun and Tiberian Wars, everybody's pretty much drunk the Kool-Aid, down to like the foot soldier. Okay. There's some people writing some really cool stuff here. I just... whoop. Let's go. Trevorlin says, I hate the way Nod looks in CNC3. I love their looking tips and better. They had awesome drip. Yeah. But again, my opinion is that, like, I don't necessarily hate the CNC3 look. I just hate that Nod shouldn't look like that in that era. Yeah, just go home. If I see a cyborg commando nearby, I'm just like, I'm going home. I'm calling in sick. You couldn't pay me enough to fight Nod on a day they have a Nod cyborg. Ugh. Okay, we got a barracks here. We got a war factory. We have no money, though, but that's okay if the cyborg commando can just keep from destroying everything. Alright, let's get you guys over here. Alright, let's get up here. No. No. Kill him. Kill him. Guys, can you not? Alright, save. I think we can get to the barracks, and then with the money we can make more engineers. It'll be good. Can you not? Can you not, guys? Come on, come on, come on. Yes!
Building captured.
Okay.
Training.
Nice work, everybody. Look what we've accomplished. Ugh. Aussie says, Tesco, you reminded me. I literally had a dream a few days ago that EA announced a Tibson RA2 remaster. Wish it was real. Luke Danger says, Conyard is just past these two buildings, so if you get that, an refinery should be set. Or the ref and the barracks for engineers. Gotcha. Well, let's move on then. Let's see if we can find it. There it is. Yeah, based off of what Joe Bostic was saying in my live chat a while back, I think that there's a good... They want to make a remaster. Like, they absolutely do. And if EA will just let them off the leash, they'd 100% do it. Can we heal him with the medic? Because that would be stupendous. Gosh dang it! Quick, 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 quick. Gotcha. That's how we stand on business out here, boys. Oh, there's another tank down there. You gotta be careful. Oh my gosh! Oh! He's here again! Whoa! Oh my gosh! Oh, it happened again! Oh, guys. Joby1024. It's Joe Bostic. Oh my god. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to focus for the rest of the stream. Dang it. Ah. He says, yes, we want to make a remaster, but EA isn't giving it priority. Well, thanks for being straight with us, because I appreciate that. I really do. Oh, wow. Good to have you here. I'm sorry. I shouldn't get... I should calm down. Number one rival. Yeah, Joe Jumpscare, for real. Alright, go take care of this goober. Let's see if we can make some more of these engineers. Can we kill you, please? Thank you. Nice. Oh, hello. Alright. Welcome to the stream, guys. Lightning has struck twice. Anyway, I was just commenting on the fact that in-game voice for Slavic is the same voice as the Ghost Stalker, I believe, which is kind of funny. Alright, I think Ixana is just to the south of us, so let's deal with that. Nastologic says, because in 2030, the first remaster collection will be 10 years old, and Red Alert 2 will be 30 years old point. And in 2030, Tiberian Sun is when it takes place, so that would also be fun. I really hope a train doesn't run my guy over. She starts in the northeast. There's a radar there. If I remember correctly, you can capture everything. Okay. I guess we'll go up that way then. Wait for my harvester to come back. Joe Bostic says, EA has to decide to make the remaster. We are ready, but EA has to greenlight it before anything can be done. I guess that makes sense. EA is kind of going through a lot right now, so I suppose priorities and all that. But good to know that you guys would be super down to do that the minute that it happens. Yeah, Joby1, I don't wanna make this. I have a couple more questions if you're willing to answer them. If not, you just want to chill in the stream, totally cool too. Yeah, let's just destroy this. Oh, there we go. I really wish the watchtowers were buildable. I know you can if you mess with the ini files, but I always wanted to build them as a kid. I think that's a I don't from Joby1. As in you don't want to answer questions? Okay. Those are just engineers. I guess they moved Oksana. I don't have a lot of time, but I'll ask them questions if I don't answer. Okay, well, you're here. I have to ask the question. When does the first Tiberium War take place, according to Westwood? A lot of people think that in Renegade, in the manual, it mentions a date of 2020. Was that a mistake? Did you guys actually want to retcon it so that the first Tiberium War took place in 2020? Or was that a mistake and it's supposed to take place in the late 1990s? I'm just curious if you know the answer to that. That might be more of a Lewis Castle or Brett Sperry question. I don't know if you're aware of the discrepancy in the Renegade manual. I don't remember the dates of the lore, sorry. Ah, okay. It was worth a shot. It was worth a shot. I believe Lewis Castle was the one that was in charge of Renegade, so. But I appreciate you answering. That's really only the major question I had. I had to ask. Well, I think... Oh, Brett's out of the industry? I thought Brett was still running Jet Set Games, or did that close? Yeah. Based off of all my research, I think the best person to ask would probably be Lewis Castle, because I believe he was the executive producer of Renegade, and he's also one of the main co-founders. Brett runs an art gallery in Las Vegas. Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, is it up there? Oh, shoot, I missed that completely. Check that out real quick. All right. Oh, wait, there's a Titan right there. Ugh. Come on, kill him. Aussie says, Snowman, we got to make a run to Las Vegas to find Brett to ask him the... No, we're not hunting down old Westwood devs and harassing them, okay? That's not what we're doing. Oh, gosh. Oh, Medic, you better get in there. Joey One says, I don't know what ID is up to. I've lost track of her years ago. Yeah, I was talking with some of the other people in the CNC community, and they were saying that ID kind of just wanted to remain super private. So, I mean, I'll respect that. I don't, like I said, I don't want to harass anybody or anything like that. If they want to stay out of the CNC limelight, like, I want to respect that. I tried reaching out to one of the writers of the Renegade Manual to get an answer to the question, but I don't think she wanted to be back in that space, so I've not followed up on that, just out of respect for that. Okay, is there anything down this way? If you want radar, top right corner of the map. You can also recruit disc throwers if you want something to fight Titans with. Good idea. Do we have more? Top right corner. I thought... Oh, there's stuff further up here? Dang. I did not know that. Oh, heading towards the main base now. Okay, good to know. Let's build some disc throwers, yeah.
Silos needed.
No, when you say silos needed, all I hear is not enough disc throwers.
Unit ready.
Oh, that ramp up there? Oh, there it is.
Unit ready.
Loud and clear. Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Leave no enemy standing.
Unit ready.
Chase Baker says, Joby1, can you talk about getting iron storms to work as map obstacles? Anything about shutting down flight tech to lightning bolt zapping unit structures? That's an excellent question. I would love to know the answer to that.
Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Awaiting orders.
Oh, that's right. I can build Titans.
Building.
There we go. Oh, look at that.
Infantry reporting.
Let's kill you.
Enemy standing.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Whew. Yeah, there was also some debate about when exactly the Tiberium meteor hit. Everybody in the community assumes that the Tiberium meteor hit in 1995.
Yes, sir.
But like you said, you probably don't know all the lore stuff as far as dates, so no worries on that. Joby1 says, I've been out of the codebase for so long, I'm not sure about that. Oh, well. Ion Storms are always one of the coolest things to me. I love them so much. I really, really wish more games would do environmental stuff like that these days, especially RTS. Am I going the right direction, Luke Danger? Alright, you guys head down this way to support them.
Yes, sir.
Luke Danger, per the Ava database, there's a weak spot in the main base from the northern side of it. You are at the main base now, front entrance. Northwest is the back way in if you want.
Loud and clear.
Do you mean going south this way?
Yes.
Shogun Sam says, what exactly is an ion storm? Is it just really bad lightning? I mean, from a gameplay perspective, yes. Roomwish says, so I saw you're making a video about the date of the first Tiberian War. Brave choice. I know this is controversial, all that in the community. I think No Strength still is a bit haunted by that video. What do you mean? Has he stated anything about like the like any backlash he's gotten about that video? Oh shoot. Oh, gosh, the music is so good in this game. Alright, let's save and then we'll move up. Frostburn says, I'm still waiting for his lore video of GDI. I did do a lore video of GDI. Did you miss that, Frostburn? It's the newest video on my channel. I basically covered all the lore of GDI up until Tiberian Dawn, as far as like what we know. I'm planning to do more lore videos on GDI and Nod as we go through, but I realized that separating the two when we get to the major conflicts like the wars wouldn't work out very well. So as soon as I'm done with this video, I want to make a full like documentary style video on the first Tiberian War. In fact, I don't know if you guys have noticed in my posts, I kind of mentioned that like I was going to need your guys' help for it. I've talked about it a little bit on other live streams, but oh wait, hold up. Luke Danger, the Orca Transport is also your escape vector, although you only need to get Slavic and Oksana on there. The Ion Storm is a result of GD activity in Area 51. Yeah. Alright, Geek Defense Edition. I didn't see any backlash, but I haven't seen it in a while. Frostburn, no strings GDI video. He promised to make it, but still no. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, Yeah, no, as far as I'm aware, No Strings, I think, was called upon to be a writer for Tempest Rising. And so I think he's involved in a lot of other projects right now. So the channel is kind of on the back burner, which is a shame, but I'm actually happy to see him moving on to stuff. Like, I would kill to be able to write on an RTS game. That's the dream right there. Like, No Strings is living the dream. Joby Wan says, funny ion cannon story. The box art was created before we finished the game. We knew we were going to make an ion cannon, but didn't know how it would look like. We ended up copying the game box art. That's great. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, the ion cannon doesn't show up anywhere except the ion cannon icon on the sidebar, unlike the first game where it shows up in a cutscene. So that's kind of funny that box art ended up being what they used, because as far as I'm aware, it looks very similar to what it looked like in Tiberian Dawn. No Strings production also helped development from the Ashes mod for Alert 1 Remastered. Oh, interesting, Frostburn. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, Number One Rival says, though I do remember that guy was arguing with No Strings for being rather uncharitable and rude. What guy? I don't know what you're talking about. Can we get this? I just don't want to blow up the bridge. Here, let's get you back over here. And let's get you guys. Oh. Titan ran back. Coward. Yeah, anyway, as I was saying. Yeah, Jeffrey, like I said, No Strings kind of stopped working on his channel to work on other projects. I think he's just not really interested in going back to that. He might be in the future, but for now, I think he just doesn't really want to work on that. Oh, that's right. I still have these guys. Can you make it across now? I think you can make it across now without dying. So yeah, like I said, in the future, I'm going to be working on what I wanted to make basically a kind of mock, not mock, but like a documentary of the first Tiberium War in universe. And I really want your guys' help for writing basically makeshift intelligence database entries for the first Tiberium War. Anything that you guys can think of if you're writers. I would also like to have several of you guys voice it, if any of you guys have talent in voice acting. It's not quite up yet, but I will open it up for people to do their thing in that regard and help me out with that. I'm really excited to collaborate with you all on this, because a lot of you guys write like really long, in-depth lore stuff in the comments, and I would love to have some of you guys contribute in that way. And you all just seem like cool people. Geek Defense Initiative. I'm studying game design next year, and I'm already working on a pitch for an RTS game. It's partially inspired by your video on CNC3 as well as the Honor Harrington book series. On my video on CNC3? Oh, what about it inspired it? I'm actually really curious. That sounds really cool, Geek Defense Initiative. Luke Danger says, speaking of documentaries, I've been doing world-building intel database entries for Tiberian Sun Tiberian War era. If you want me to send you some samples of my writing, more personal notes than true ID entries. Absolutely. I haven't opened things up yet. I'm going to do an official video when I want you guys to send all your stuff, but I have a dedicated Gmail account for the Snowman channel. I believe it's just hhcsnowmangaming@gmail.com. I could be wrong. Either that or hhcsnowman@gmail.com. I'll have to look it up again. I'll put it in the comment of this live stream. But yeah, Luke Danger, if you want to send me stuff, go for it. I will be happy to take a look at it. Again, nothing official until I announce it. But if you guys want to send me some samples of your writing or even samples of your voice work, absolutely send it my way. I would be very happy to look at it. Geek Defense Initiative. I'm something of a writer myself. Yeah, again, I want you guys involved in this because I'm trying to make sure that I'm building my own niche in this. And I'm looking at Jathild. He's currently like going through all the Red Alert stuff from a very like stoic kind of perspective of things like that. So if he ever gets around to doing stuff in the Tiberium universe, I don't want to like be, stomping on his territory or have him stomping on mine. So doing something that's very unique, like a documentary in universe style, with some more flavor to it, I think would be a good way of me carving my own niche, so I'm not stepping on anyone's toes. Not that Jethildes would would ever register me on the radar, because he's such a so much bigger YouTuber and such a more important figure in the CNC lore space. But I just don't want to do something that somebody's already done, and I have a lot of passion to do this documentary style thing, so that's what I would love to do. Luke Danger, thanks. I'll put a package together. This is stuff from a fanfic I was working on, but I'll give you an example of what I'm going for my writing if you want samples. Absolutely. And I'll be more clear with what it is I'm going for and what I want in the future. I just would like to see examples of your writing or voice acting for any of you guys out there, because that would be super cool. In fact, I was going to do a video on Cain and Abel and kind of tie that into the role that Seth has symbolically in the first game. If any of you guys want to do voice acting for Cain or God from that passage to make that a little more interesting instead of just being an info dump on a 6,000-year-old document or however old the Bible is, that would be cool too if you wanted to like test it out and see if you guys want to do it on a mini project before the full project. If any of you guys sound like Morgan Freeman or a young Joe Kukan, send your stuff my way. All right, let's go. Okay, I missed the stuff that Geek Defense Initiative was saying. Yep, the part of how games tackle the balance between political necessities and military necessities. Yes, which is a major theme in the Honor Harrington novels. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, echo what Aussie says. That's a huge honor. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And honestly, that's what I want to do most with my stuff on this channel, is inspire other people to make great art and to get them excited about themes and lore and technology and things like that. Because to me, that's what Tiberian Sun was. Tiberian Sun is one of the major influences, along with Back to the Future, that made me want to be an engineer. I love the technology of the walkers, of the Titans, of the ion cannon and everything like that. Like, it got me so excited for technology and made me want to become an engineer. And it also spurred me to want to do stuff in art in the creative space. And to me, that's all I want to do, is I want to create art of some kind, whether it's video essays, video games someday, books, because I'm also doing fiction writing. I just want to create stuff that inspires people the way that Tiberian Sun inspired me, to just make more amazing art that really makes people think. And, I don't know, I'm rambling, but Joby Wan says, glad you were doing voice acting. The AI synthetic voices are so great and they're not perfect enough yet. Yeah, no, 100%. I also don't really use much stuff with AI, period. So I wouldn't even know how to begin to do that. So to me, it's just easier working with people. But anyway, Joe Bostic, if you ever get back to the rest of any of your former Westwood guys, either at Petroglyph or otherwise, be sure to give them a big old thank you from Snowman, just for being such a huge influence on my life and my childhood. And I think we will all probably echo that as well. All right. Shogun Sam, that is fair with Jethilde. If someone was curious about getting involved, any advice of things to be aware of? Involved in my project or something separate? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Woo! Shogun Sam says yes. Yeah, again, my email, I believe, is, again, I don't really use it that much because nobody's really sent me anything. I think it's hhcsnowmangaming@gmail.com or just hhcsnowman@gmail.com. It's one of the two. Just send me samples of, basically, if you were to write an if you guys remember the intelligence database entries from CNC3, what I'm going for is basically intelligence database entries if they were written for the first Tiberian War. So if you want to write a sample of something from that era, go ahead and send it to me. Or if you want to send a sample of your voice acting, send it to me. And if I like what you have to see and I think I can use you, then I'll keep you in mind for when we do this project. So feel free. Aussie says, Shogun Sam, are you trying to create Tiberium YouTube channel of your own? Where is Oksana? Luke Danger says, Joe, a question. Are there any mechanics that you guys consider for Tiberian Sun that you end up not doing from a coding perspective? For example, was there something you decided was too tough to pull off? That's a good question.
Loud and clear. You got it.
Joey Wan, Luke Danger, nothing really. Automatic gates were a challenge, but we did it anyway. And it's funny because, like, no future game in the CNC series, I think, had automatic gates. So it's one of my favorite things from this game. Shogun Sam says, maybe. Oh, yeah, we would love to have more people in the CNC space. There you are.
Yes, immediately.
Sir.
All right, let's get you to the transport.
Loud and clear. Yes, sir.
All right.
Loud and clear.
Let's get the rest of you guys to just destroy the base.
Ready for action.
Unit lost.
I just wonder, do the GDI barracks just have like the equipment to equip Nod soldiers with like disc throwers, or are there like actual GDI soldiers in there who, after the engineer gets in there, they're just like, I guess we serve a Nod now. That's not an actual question. I'm just making a joke. Joby Wan says, well, I have to head off to lunch. Take care. It was fun dropping your stream. Always happy to have you. Have a good lunch. I should eat something. Give everybody give Joe Bostic a big hand. He built her childhoods, along with everyone else at Westwood. Ugh. Let's go. Anyway, any more questions about the first Tiberium War project and the email and the voiceover and the intelligence database stuff? A lot of this stuff is going by fast, and I'm not reading every single comment like I used to. So if I missed anything, just now's the time I'm kind of looking. So as soon as the mission's over as well, I'm gonna look more in depth. So that's also a good time to send your stuff. Hold up.
Yes, sir.
Ah.
You got it.
All right. One sec, guys. I will be right back. Just a sec.
Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Loud and clear. Moving out. I'm on it. Got it. You got it. I'm on it. Infantry reporting. Moving out. Good as done. Moving out. Moving out. Moving out. Yes, sir. Moving out. Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Yes, sir.
Silos needed.
Yes, sir.
I'm ready. Awaiting orders. Yes. Awaiting orders immediately.
Silos needed.
Sir. Infantry reporting. Yes, yes. Yes, Cabal. I will.
Direct me. Immediately. I'm ready. Yes.
Yes, Cabal. For Kane.
Mission accomplished.
Okay, this snowman's back. Can everybody hear me again? Hello? Just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Sorry, I'm really happy. Ugh. All right, awesome. Let's take this moment to do some things. First off, let's see if we can get the comment of the day back and see if that's working. All right. All right, here we go. Should be on the screen now. All right, much better. Okay, so looks like a bunch of people have just been added to the membership, but at the time that I made this, these were the two most recent comments made by members. We have one from Shot Combo, who was commented on our post about who is your favorite commander that you play as in the GDI campaign. And he said, so you're telling me that while I was playing Tibdon as a kid, I was also Darth Vader? I'll take it. Yeah, it's one of my most favorite retcons in all of CNC history. Then we have DM Trance 87, who says he was commenting on the last live stream we had Joe Bostic on. That's so cool that the developer showed up, and I'm super happy that you found that secret mission. Great stream. That was a fun one. So, yeah. Let me just blow my nose real quick while we look at that. Aussie, is there anything anybody said while I was gone that I should address? Also, what's with the memberships? Did Aussie, did you buy everyone memberships? What's going on? There was a poll idea for what nod tactics most people use. Oh. Let me see if I can find that. Gibson7 Clan says, can you do a poll asking what people's favorite Tiberian Sun tactic? Hit and run with buggies and bikes, bunker down with artillery and tic tanks, stealth tech tactics for infantry swarm. I honestly don't know how to do a poll. If Aussie is a moderator and you could do that, please go for it. Oh, you went all over and bought people memberships. I appreciate that. By the way, now that we've reached 3,000 subscribers, we are going to be doing a multiplayer stream with Tib Sun on CNCnet. It's going to be me and 3 other players against 4 computers, and hopefully we'll beat it quickly so we can get more players cycled in. But yeah. Yeah, go ahead and do the poll then, Aussie. Appreciate it. All right, let's get back to the main game. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. Means a lot. There are definitely some hairy moments in the last few months that your support actually did some like real world good. All right, next mission. Let me mute myself so you guys can hear the cutscenes.
I am disappointed.
There was no excuse for our capture.
The Brotherhood cannot afford ignorant mistakes.
McNeil will pay.
Our scientists have perfected the next generation of Tiberium-based missiles. I am transferring control. I want you to test them.
Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, Okay, if I remember correctly, this is another one of those missions where you could pick either or, but not both. So we're gonna have to decide which one we want to do. No, Luke Danger. Slavic was captured in a cutscene. And that mission was us breaking him out. So, yeah, Slavic kind of screwed up by getting himself captured. It was a trap. When we tried to get Umagon from the medical colony, it turns out that was a trap. Okay. Geek Defense Edition. Can I join the CNC match? I promise to make the charge of the Light Brigade look like a sensible military exercise. Yeah, we'll try to get all of you guys in there and cycle you through quickly. But we'll see who actually wants to play and who just wants to watch. Really? I can't do a poll. Okay. Or he can't do a poll. Unfortunate. Start a poll. Add option. Add option. Okay, I can do 4 options. So let's go favorite, nod, tactic, and Tib Sun. So the first option, I believe, was hit and run with buggies. The second option was turtling with artillery. The third one was stealth tactics. And the fourth one, I believe, was... crikey, what was the fourth one? The fourth one was infantry rush, I believe. Okay. And we're going to start the poll. All right. Is that working? Is that working for everybody? Nice. Okay. I'm going to start listening to these and figure out which one to do. And also, if you guys want to figure out which one to do, let me know in the chat.
Enter the sector and deploy your base. Once you have established the Tiberium waste facility, Convoys of Tiberium waste will begin arriving. Protect the convoys at all costs. Once we have enough Tiberium waste, the missile will be ready for use against GDI. Destroying their base, once it is infected, will be a simple matter.
Gotcha. And the next one.
In this sector lies a Nod base, overrun with Tiberium-based life forms.
Ooh.
Find the base, reactivate it, and use the Tiberium life to fill our missiles. When you have enough of the Tiberium substance, launch the missile against the GDI base and destroy it.
I like the second one better. Just the idea of not having to babysit convoy trucks and also with Tiberium life just sounds better. Luke Danger says, the southern one is a little easier, though you'll want to hurry northeast to get to the base before it gets overrun by vein holes. It's the one I prefer of the two. Dust Logic says, I choose the second one. Video Crow's Nest says, the south one is more proactive, and you don't need to wait for the trucks to arrive. Just got to clear out a base of Tiberium life forms. Okay. Yeah, I want to do the second one as well. Luke Danger, what do you mean by hurry to the northeast? At the beginning, or like after you built your base? All right, I'm so ready. I'm pumped, guys. Just really happy. Oh. I'm sorry, Mrs. Snowman just sent me a really sweet text. Gosh, I love that woman. All right, you start with a fixed force, and you have to get to the base to clear it out. Okay, good. All right, we're going to northeast then. Let's do this, boys. And by the way, I know you're all boys because I looked at the statistics for my channel, and in the last 90 days, it's like 100% male. Oh, it's like, and for the lifetime of my channel, it's 98.9% male. So like, oh gosh, not that I'm complaining, but like clearly CNC has an audience. If you know any, oh, Shogun Sam says, oh really? Wow. I was gonna say, if you guys know any like female CNC fans in real life, I have yet to meet any.
Waiting orders. Infantry reporting. Unit report. Yes, sir. Unit report. Yes, sir. Waiting orders. Unit report, sir. Orders received. Unit report. Yes, sir. Unit ready. Yes, sir. Moving out.
Shogun Sam says, why do you think I'm so cutesy? I honestly didn't clock that. Savage Now presence. All right, Video Crow's Nest says, do hurry, that vein hole will eat your base if you don't get there ASAP. All right, then, we're going.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Let's go ahead and make you guys the same.
Infantry reporting. Moving out.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Sir. Sir, on my way.
Over the hills and through the woods to Grandma's house we go. Tic Tacs, do your job.
Yes, sir.
Let's freaking go. All right. Okay.
Loud and clear.
All right, Gibson Clan says, vote for your favorite or most used Nod tactic.
Moving out. Unit ready.
Mutant vermin detected.
Cabal, tell us what you really feel. Oh, shoot. No, don't do that. Ah, kill him. Kill the infantry. Oh, my gosh, infantry, you had one job. Ah. All right, send the infantry in first. We'll send the dwarves in first and keep the giants in reserve. If anybody knows where that line's from, you're a legend.
Infantry reporting. You got it. Moving out.
Video Crow's Nest, I did try to warn you. Sorry, I wasn't looking.
Unit ready, sir.
There's a lot of people commenting.
Yes, sir.
All right, come on.
Unit ready. Unit reporting.
Come on.
Mutant vermin detected.
Destroy the mutant vermin! Destroy the mutant vermin! Oh my gosh, you have a lot of armor!
Yes, sir. Orders received. Waiting orders.
Kill him!
Received. Yes, sir.
Kill him!
Orders received. Moving out.
You have one job! Thank you.
I'm on it. Unit ready. Moving out.
Run him over. I said run him over.
Orders received.
If you know where that's from too, that you're even more of a legend because that is a niche thing right there. Looks like we got Luke Danger who says the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe live action movie from the Knots. Way to go! Appreciate that. This is a bit of a hot take for me, but I think that the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe's final battle, the first battle of Baruna, is one of the best, if not the best, fantasy battle scenes I've ever seen put to film. And let me tell you why. I probably have already done this, but because it actually shows how each different fantasy creature is valuable on the battlefield. You fight up in the mountains with the fawns because they have the goat hooves, so they're a lot better to fight on that ground. They use the griffins to basically be strategic bombers and drop boulders on the enemy. You have the talking cats, like the cougars and the leopards and stuff, fighting alongside the cavalry. I just want my fantasy creatures to act like they live in a world that has built tactics around the fantasy creatures. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I've had this conversation before. I just want more of that. I just want the movie Gettysburg, but with fantasy. That's what I want. Okay, shoot. Abandoned Nod Base, Abandoned Nod Base. Where is it? Is it up here? Yes! Oh, shoot, you weren't kidding. This is right there. Alright. Should we destroy this thing up here or just harvest it quickly? Because that is very close to my base. Tiberium substance we seek. Alright then. Okay, Trevor Lane says, I use a variation of artillery, turtling, cyborgs, and tick-tanks. Nice. Luke Danger says, it also showed Peter applying lessons from the Blitz using the Griffins in a similar way. It's not perfect, but for young teens, honestly not bad. Exactly. Good call. I just like tactics in my fantasy, you know? When I grew up, has anybody of you guys ever heard of Ranger's Apprentice? It's very low fantasy. There's barely any fantasy in it. It's basically just like palette-swapped European medieval era. But I love it because there's so much strategy and tactics being used. Let's make a laser! Okay, let's close the poll. Alright. You have a veinful outside the front you could use for missile fuel. Okay, that's a good idea. Let's destroy that when we get the chance. Chase Baker says, look at this guy over here. Snowman wants his fantasy to be all fantastical and such. I know, right? Like, look, I respect Lord of the Rings. 100% I do. I have learned to love it. It was kind of an acquired taste for me, but I do see its value, and I do enjoy it. But, this is my hot take, Lord of the Rings isn't as interesting to watch from a fantasy battle perspective, because all of the fantasy creatures are just variations of humanoid. And everybody fights like a human. You know, nobody's... I don't know. I don't know. Is this a crazy hot take? It's like the orcs just fight like bigger, beefier humans. The elves are just more athletic humans. The dwarves are shorter humans. Like, I'm sure there's somebody who's found a way to show that combat and make it really cool. But at least what they show in the movies, I didn't think it was as interesting as like the variation we see with the Narnia battles. Even like the Night Raid in Prince Caspian, I thought was a really cool way to use like the griffins and the fantasy creatures. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's a hot take, but I mean, you know, not everybody can have the same opinion. I'm sure the Lord of the Rings fans will recover because, you know, they are the most popular fantasy franchise out there. They really have nothing to complain about. Yes, Trevor Lane says, I have the mobile repair vehicles this mission. Thank God. Those things were so great. I always hated this GDI that I didn't have an easy repair option. Alright, what is my objective again? I forgot why I'm here. Which, to be fair, is a philosophical problem I often face. Okay, locate, secure the base, destroy the GDI base. Okay, so simple search and destroy. Let's see. Oh, Org Bluesman is here. Welcome. Luke Danger says that, yeah, you're absolutely right on that. Even the trolls are just super large humans. The trolls, I will give you, are at least kind of interesting. Because they are different from just regular-sized humans. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Aussie says, I gotta head out, but thanks for having me. Good to have you, Aussie. I'll be sure to help you out on your next stream. Helipad. We just have harpies? Shogun Sam. Well, Tolkien was more variants of man, while C.S. Lewis fantastical creatures. True. Also, Tolkien was pulling more from Norse mythology, whereas C.S. Lewis was more into Greek mythology. And again, I love the world building of Tolkien's world, especially all the stuff from the Silmarillion and like how the world was created and the various deities and what the nature of Gandalf actually is. Like, all of that is super fascinating to me. Yes, we have artillery. I know what I'm making. Do we have more harvesters? We need more harvesters. Let's get more refineries. And I want to hear people's takes on this. Geek Defense Initiative. I like Jackson's movies more than Narnia, but I do get what you mean. Yeah, no, 100%. I'm well aware I'm in the minority there. And it's not like I don't enjoy the Jackson movies. I do. I do really like them. I'm not going to pretend like those movies don't make me cry. Chase Baker says, your LOTR isn't a hot take for me. I find the magic of the world just so boring. Well, there's hardly any magic in LOTR. There's like the supernatural creatures like Gandalf, the Valar, and the Maiar. They get to use magic. Everyone else regularly kind of doesn't. It's not like D&D or other worlds where like magic is just everywhere. It's definitely a different world. Magic is definitely a lot more prevalent in C.S. Lewis's work. Everybody's got magic. Not everyone, but a lot more people do. Shogun Sam says burns and Ents don't count. Yeah, no. You're absolutely right. The Ents are very cool. I love that scene where they take on is it Isengard? Yeah, they take on the camp at Isengard. The Eagles are super cool. I wish there was more done with the Eagles, but and maybe there is in the books. I'm still finishing the books. I finished The Hobbit, loved it. Currently trying to make it through the Lord of the Rings series, and maybe someday I'll get to the Silmarillion. But you're right. You're right, Shogun Sam. There is variety in Tolkien. I'm not giving him as much credit as he deserves. I just like my fantasy to be like balls to the wall, just like whatever sticks, which is funny because that's what Tolkien didn't like about C.S. Lewis. It's like, you're putting everything in here, including Santa Claus. There needs to be order. But, it's just different flavors for what people like. Nastalogic says, especially considering Lord of the Rings has its own Lego version of the game. Yes, which I hear is really hard to get a hold of. Firestorm says, build lots of weed eaters for infinite missiles. Good idea. Trevor Lane says, I integrate the fantastic elements into my D&D campaigns. For example, werewolves are ancient super soldiers. That's a cool concept. Trevor Lane. Gosh, I'd love to play at your table. Aussie says one last thing. Weed eater. All right, I'm out. Nice. Geek Defense Edition says, I love Star Wars, especially the old EU and the prequels, but I will admit the tactics make no sense, even if they make up for a spectacle. Yeah, I have to agree with you. I adore Star Wars. Star Wars might be my second favorite. Okay, no, CNC's up there. I don't remember where CNC is, but CNC's up there. Gosh, what the heck? What happened? Did I? Oh, it's destroying the civilian stuff. Gotcha. Anyway. What was I saying? Yeah, Star Wars is one of my top 3 favorite franchises of all time, but I do wish there was more strategy involved. A lot of it isn't super strategic. My favorite Star Wars episodes are Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, just because of that initial battle on Hoth. I thought was like the closest we get to strategic battle Star Wars, and also Revenge of the Sith for similar reasons. Okay. Luke Danger says, on this note, oh shoot, we got disruptors. Oh no, don't do that. Dang, they have disruptors now. Oh no. Oh no, we need artillery. Where's our artillery? Ah! Okay, Luke Danger says, on this note, this is one thing I really like about the War of Rohirrim. Hera lures a rabid Oliphant to a lesser watcher in a swamp. Basically goes to their song. See, that's pretty cool. C.S. Lewis put Santa and Narnia specifically to piss off Tolkien. I'd like to think so, yes. Luke Danger says, it's worth noting that Elytra magic is also a lot more subdued, more artifacts or an oaths rather than hurting. 1d4. Yes, and I do respect it for what it is. Tolkien was going for something very specific. Tolkien was also a Christian, so I think he maybe had some qualms necessarily about using magic in that way, because if it's what it meant for like the occult. So I can respect that based on his beliefs, why he wouldn't necessarily want to do that. I don't know if that's the reason why. I'm just speculating. But then of course, C.S. Lewis is also Christian, and he put a ton of magic in his stories, so, you know. People are comfortable with different things. Gibson 7 Clans. I would love a Narnia Aslan mod for Warhammer. Lawful Beastmen with better leadership and armor. The artillery can't miss. Yeah, no, that'd be really cool. I honestly wish there was more Narnia representation in like mods and media and stuff, or more Narnia games. I think it's because Narnia gets kind of pigeonholed as like, oh, that Lion Jesus book, when I think there's so much more to that series than that simplistic reduction of the series. First off, it's really only the first book that is kind of like almost a one-to-one copy of like the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. The other books are a lot more subtle in how they do it. And second, there's a lot more to the story than just Aslan. There's a lot of really cool aspects to the world building and everything that I think gets kind of flies under the radar among fantasy fans, because again, they kind of just write it off as like Christian fiction, when like most of Christian fiction today doesn't hold a candle to what C.S. Lewis made. You know, it's like, how dare you stand where he stood? This is this is some quality writing here. And thirdly, I think that C.S. if you do want to read it as like Aslan being like Jesus, I think that C.S. Lewis has a lot more interesting things to say about the nature of Jesus and really deities in general than most Christian writers today do. I think he has a much more realistic and raw perspective of the human condition, the nature of evil, and what role God plays in it on a very personal level of dealing with your own demons, that I don't think really a lot of Christian authors go nearly that deep when talking about that. So if you do want to view it that way, I still think it's a very novel way of discussing Jesus that really isn't shown in a lot of modern Christian fiction, in my opinion. But that's because the bar is in the basement, in my opinion. But anyway, got me on a rant. Moving on. Trevor Lando, that's a fun idea I missed in the chat. What was the idea? Did I miss something? I don't remember. Okay. Fun fact, Mark II was inspired by the AT-AT Walker. Yes, I heard about that. I love that. Geek Defense Edition is my favorite is Revenge of the Sith, just because of the scale of it all. Yeah, I love Revenge of the Sith. I saw it for the 20th anniversary. I went in theaters with my friends to watch it again. Still so good. I watched it with a friend, if you know from the other channel, Psyche. She's a friend of mine. I watched that with her. She had never seen any of the other like Star Wars prequels before, but she had just watched Revenge of the Sith, and she loved it. Like, it's a movie that holds up, I think. I don't think people give it enough credit. What the heck are you guys doing? Oh. I guess we'll start doing a walking fire with the artillery. Nastalogic, you should probably name the list of your favorite franchises, whether the genre it might be, just for curiosity's sake. Yeah, 100%. I would say that it definitely Command and Conquer, especially the Tiberium universe, is like up in my top 3. The other two, I think, would be Star Wars and Superman. Particularly when Superman is written correctly. I'm not a huge fan of Superman in films. I don't think any of them really get the character right. But Superman in comics, there's a lot of comics I like that Superman's great in, and I also adore a lot of the Superman TV shows. I'm going through Smallville right now with my friend who loves Mass Effect, and I'm adoring it. I think Michael Rosenbaum is the definitive Lex Luthor. And I love the romance between Lois Lane and Clark Kent in this universe. It's fantastic. And the Superman and Lois show with Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch is also incredible. You want to know who Superman is as a character? Watch Superman and Lois. That is the definitive Superman and Lois to me. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, I love all the guys' talk. I really just want to talk with you guys instead of playing the game. But let's see. What do we have here? Trevor Lane says, yes, Luke Danger, I have a fallen ancient empire that created werewolves, owlbears, and other creatures as bioweapons. Werewolves are used as shock troopers. That sounds so freaking cool, Trevor Lane. If you ever want to share any of the stuff that you've written, I know it's for D&D, so it's not like actually written in a way that's easy to consume, but that sounds incredible. Where's the advanced power plant? Do I not get it? There it is. Shogun Sam, I swear my problem is I would do too much sci-fi franchises. It would be sporadic, indeed. Frostburn says, anyone read the Marco Cluse Frontline series? I have not. I think I've heard people mention it in my chat before, though. Luke Danger, nice, Trevin. That's honestly an underused idea, especially as far back the original contest is often lost, and they've had their own distinct thing separate from that, yeah. Geek Defense Initiative. Lewis wanted to make a final book called Susan of Narnia, but he died before. I have heard that. That's another really stupid controversy. Gosh, dang it! Okay, I need Sam's. I need Sam's. Sam's. Samuel! There it is. Yeah, there's another really stupid controversy about people think that, like, C.S. Lewis is trying to say, like, oh, the problem with Susan was that she liked boys and that's why she couldn't get into Narnia. That was absolutely not the case. Anybody who reads the actual series knows that's not what he was talking about. He was talking about the idea that people tend to want to grow up, but not in a mature way. They want to grow up in the sense that they want to... I think the exact full line was, she spent her whole life trying to get to the age she is now, and she'll spend the rest of her life trying to remain that age. Like, that's a pretty universal concept that I think people understand. But somehow that got simplified into she liked girls, so Aslan doesn't like her. Sorry, she liked boys, or whatever. Nylons and lipstick. It's just like, it's such a stupid concept, because it's like, yeah. Anyway, sorry, don't get me on that. I'm gonna be on that all day. Shogun Sam, if I made a channel and the series is really good, I agree with you with C.S. Lewis. Thanks, appreciate that, Shogun Sam. You should make a channel. Give it a shot. I would help support you any way I can if you did. We need more people making cool stuff. Or Glusman, Aslan is C.S. Lewis, Jesus. Oh, yeah. Remember, guys, canonically, he is not a representation of Jesus. He is literally Lion Jesus. That's a whole rabbit hole. All right, moving down. Shogun Sam, if someone wanted to do a variety of sci-fi fantasy franchises instead of a fixation on specifics, is that a good channel idea? It could be. You might want to start with something specific and then branch out. That's kind of what I'm trying to do with CNC. I hit on CNC. It clearly struck a chord. A lot of people love it. That's what I built my channel on. I don't want to stay here. I want to be able to make more content having to do with other video game franchises. And hopefully I can break out of that mold at some point. Not that I'm unhappy to be here in CNC, but yeah, no, I would love that, Shogun Sam. Absolutely. And if you want any help knowing how to like start a channel and do stuff like that, or any tips, let me know. 100% would love to support you. Nastologic. Guess it's just because it became a habit to read every single habit in the chat. I missed the stream when Super Challenge Bros was resistant, even when Joe Bostic was in the stream the first time. Luke Danger. Look, when you get nailed to a stick by people you're trying to save and then live forever afterwards, you need to try different things. Dang, my artillery is unmatched. Let's just make more and then go attack them. Also, I need to make a missile silo. Okay. Trevor Lane. Honestly, if a world has fantastic elements, I consider it important to think about how they affect that world. Absolutely. 100%. Oh, the artillery is so OP. What you gonna do, guys? Oh, I love the way it deforms the terrain, too. Gosh, this game was so freaking good, guys. Why did nobody build off the concepts of this game? Alright. I know there's insufficient funds.
New construction options.
All right. Oh, we're low on money? All right. Yeah, the Tiberium's kind of hard to come by. Yay. All right. What's my strongest vehicle? I guess it would be the Tic Tank. I guess we'll just build a lot more Tic Tanks. And cyborgs. Let's build. You know what? Let's go infantry base. Let's build a bunch of cyborgs to be meat shields for the disruptors, and then we'll go get them. That's probably a cheaper alternative. Shogun Sam says, "Thanks so much. I'm touched." Yeah, absolutely. You seem like a cool person. I would love to watch your content. Trevor Lane, you have stealth generators and obelisks of light. I know. I just don't think the stealth generators are really going to do anything when the computer can see everything on its own. Obelisk of light would be cool, but I also have artillery, so you know. I'm gonna save. Shogun Sam, I happen to be on the CNC Discord. Is it okay if I contact? Absolutely. I'm on the CNC Discord too. I recently got an invite there from Alex06, and I'm also in contact with CC Hyper, which is super cool. Yeah, let's go. Alright, I'm going to take some of this artillery and move it with me to be kind of a walking fire. And then you guys are going to be my main guys. Let's move you guys over here. Okay. This should be enough to take out the base. But yeah, Shogun Sam, feel free to contact me. Absolutely. Master Logic. At this point, you could just make an entire snail using just artillery. Exactly. Org Luzman says, the planet, the new Predator movie, is just 40k Kachatan. I haven't seen the new Predator movie. I think the only Predator movie I've seen is the first one. I'm kind of new to the Predator franchise. Luke Danger, I know there's sufficient funds. Oh, we're low on money. Yeah. All right. Chase Baker says, Joe Bostic did mention that he almost lost his mind programming the terrain deformation. Yes, absolutely. All right. Let's make you guys 2. All right, let's move up. Actually, we'll let the artillery do its thing first. Frostburn, get to the chopper! Yeah. Or Glusman, not even Superman versus the Elite. Superman versus the Elite is pretty good. I love that story. Manchester Black is one of my absolute favorite Superman villains. It's kind of a shame to me that he's never shown up in any movies, although, knowing the track record, they probably dumb him down or ruin him. But Manchester Black is one of my absolute favorite Superman movies. Sorry, Superman villains. Okay. Berg Glusman says, Red Alert 1 and Tib Dawn, good guy missions. First establish a beachhead and save an Einstein. First mission, commit war crimes and beep every person you see.
Unit lost.
Alright.
Yes, sir. Waiting with ours. Unit reporting. Units ready. Waiting order without unit reporting.
Let's scout ahead. Where's the GDI base?
Unit ready.
Shogun Sam says, did you like the new Superman movie? I thought it was okay. I enjoyed it when I watched it. I've watched it twice. I watched it once with my friend that loves Mass Effect. I don't have a code name for him yet. And I watched it once with Mrs. Snowman. It was okay. I thought it was okay. There are definitely some problems I had with it. I don't know if you want me to go into that now. Fight, win, prevail. Welcome to Fish Got Nukes. Am I a mechanical man? One can only speculate. I should blow that up. Can the artillery not? Dang it. Okay. Well, let's get the artillery closer, and then we'll get some engineers out there. Astrologic. Also, back to what I was saying about the remastered collection. If it does release in 2030, it'll be enough time for Petroglyph and Lemniscate Studio to develop the second one. The second what? The second remastered collection? Yeah. Shogun Sam says, "Oh crap, yes." Okay, I assume you want me to talk about it. Geek Defensive Initiative. My favorite superhero is the Scarlet Pimpernel. Dang, bringing it back. I never read that. My sister read it for school. I never got a chance to read that. I really should. I love reading like old classic literature. I recently read the Odyssey for the first time as an adult, and it was so freaking good. Geek Defense Edition. I was part of the boycott though. Oh, the Snyder fan boycott. Is that your thing? Is that what you're talking about? Orc Lubson says, "What about Babylon 5 and Stargate?" I have not seen those. I really want to watch Stargate at some point. But yeah, I just didn't grow up with that. Shogun Sam says, "Be my guest either way." Geek Defense Edition says, "I just hate the new era comedic superhero." Yes, that's okay. We're going on this rant. This is my problem with modern superhero movies, and specifically James Gunn. This might be a hot take. I think James Gunn is fundamentally incapable of writing mature adult characters. If he has to write like immature, screw ups that are just getting through life, I think he does a very good job. I think Guardians of the Galaxy was good for what it was, even though they're not necessarily my thing. I don't think he knows how to write like mature characters that's what Superman needs. Like, and not just Superman, Lex Luthor. I don't like how Lex Luthor was portrayed. I don't like that he's the kind of guy that just like gets thrown around like a rag doll by Crypto. Lex Luthor's supposed to be an intimidating character. Lex Luthor, if you ever watch Michael Rosenbaum in Smallville, that is Lex Luthor. Every room he walks into, he owns. If you've ever seen All-Star Superman, the animated series, the animated version, when he goes up against Parasite, he shoots him with a gun and then kicks him and is like, "This, you know what happens? This is what happens to anyone who faces Lex Luthor." Because he's arrogant, because he's the kind of guy who's just a human but can stand up to gods. He's the evil mirrored version of Batman in that way. And I think that a lot of people just don't get that Lex Luthor is supposed to be like that. And same thing with Superman. He walks in there being like, "Where's the dog?" And he's losing his mind. To me, Superman's supposed to be in greater control of his emotion. Not to saying that Superman can't be emotional. He absolutely is. He's one of my favorite characters when he gets vulnerable and everything. But there's an element of Superman that needs to be like, he's almost like a father. He has like a stoic sort of like command presence to him, while also being incredibly like loving and personal and human. That I think they got the human aspect in the James Gunn movie. They kind of missed his authoritative side, the side that says like, no, like Captain America has that. Captain America has that thing where like, if he says this is not right, we can't do this, people respect him and people follow him. Superman has that to a degree as well, and I feel like that was kind of lost in the James Gunn version. I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but that's kind of my problems with the way they portrayed Superman as a character. I still think it was a step in the right direction, and I still thought the movie was okay. It's not terrible by any means, but I just think it could have been done better. There, sorry. Shogun Sam says, "Love Smallville." Oh, you've watched Smallville? Amazing. Yeah, I'm on season 9 now. I've almost finished it. I am adoring the show. Trevor Lane says, "You can contain the vein hole monsters with pavement." Oh, you're right. Thank you, Trevor Lane. So smart. We could have stopped Tiberium all along if we just put pavement everywhere. I found the secret. Shogun Sam says, "True, but someone's dog is a no-no." Yeah, no, 100%. I get that. And I know a lot of people who are dog owners really like vibed with that as well. So like, I get it. I owned a dog a long time ago. It was a golden retriever. He was adorable and fluffy, and I miss him every day. Thankfully, I'll probably have a dog in the future. I hope I get a golden retriever. No, don't do that. Where's my... How are you not... Oh. Anyway. Alright, let's find the base. Sorry, this is going a lot slower than I thought it would, but also I really like talking with you guys. Blue Danger. There's also that Superman is keenly aware that he is capable of doing incredible, horrible damage to everyone else, which is part of why he has to be in such control. A world of cardboard. Exactly. The cardboard speech from Justice League. That is what is so great about Superman, because to me, this is what I adore about his character. He's someone who could do incredible damage, and he has control. If he wasn't raised by the Kents, he would destroy the planet, in my opinion, because he's just so powerful. And any regular person who just doesn't control or have a sense of like what to do with power would ruin themselves and everyone around them. That's what I aspire to be. That's what I love so much about the heroic nature of Superman, is knowing what to do with power and knowing to be gentle with it and knowing to protect people with it. Even on a basic human level, whatever power you've been given in this world, whether that be being a charismatic person, whether that be being an influential person, being strong physically or emotionally, whatever it is you've been given in this life, like, use it wisely. Use it to serve others and use it in a way that you're not destroying other people with your gift. To me, that is the core of Superman's character, and that's what I always strive to be. I fail a lot of times, but that's what gets me in my heart. It's just, sorry. I love the Superman character so much. He might be my favorite fictional franchise of all time. Alright, let's back up. Let's get you guys in here. I can really go for a pizza right now. I don't know about you guys. I'm really craving pizza lately. Okay. Thanks, Luke Danger. Appreciate that. Geek Defense Edition. I'm actually rooting for whoever buys DC to make it a multiverse. I always said the problem with super stories is that it needs to be different kinds of stories. Yeah, that could work. Let's also make some more Tic Tanks while we're here. Where's the Tic Tanks? There. Luke Danger. Still a valid target for the chemical missiles. We haven't used one in there. Yeah, let's go ahead and just use one while we're here. Ugh. Shogun Sam, the hero we need. Exactly. Exactly. Geek Defensive. I personally like Superman stories when he has to handle being powerless. Yeah, no, that's good. If you ever looked up the story Superman Up and Away, that's a really great story. It takes place after Superman's been stripped of his powers and he has to just be Clark Kent reporter for a year, and then he slowly starts getting his powers back and has to learn how to like adapt. It's a really great story. If you like Superman stripped of his power stories, I would 100% recommend Superman Up and Away. Let's get you guys over here as well. Thank you. Nest Logic, and that goes without saying. Let's hope that they don't butcher it, or at least EA doesn't pressure them to mess it up. But then again, it's EA, so it's likely to be the latter. Yeah, fair enough. Trevor Lane, pizza sounds so good, but I can't have it. My lunch was yogurt, almonds, and grapes. Diets suck. Yeah, no, I get it. I really should stick to my diet. Okay. Gosh dang it. You're right. You're right, Firestorm. Alright, where's my... Can you guys, like, do this first? I would appreciate that. Thank you. Also, let's just go ahead and destroy this, since this is still here, so we could destroy this. Where's my... Yeah. We don't need you anymore. There we go. Nice. Here. You, harvest up here. Alright, where's my... Oh, right, I need my... Yeah, whatever. Alright, let's go. Nasta Logic says, even as I was playing Need for Speed Most Wanted recently, knowing this is officially a 20-year-old game,
Construction complete.
since last week, it still has some of the elements the community is toxic about. What do you mean?
You got it.
Unit ready. August is under attack.
You got it. No problem.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, wow. Oh, shoot.
Unit ready.
Uh,
Building. Training. Unit ready.
is everybody okay? Stream still going?
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Shoot. Gonna have to remove that in post.
Ready. Unit ready.
Man, we gotta get you guys in here quick.
Unit ready.
Waiting orders.
Unit ready.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. You got it. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
All right, let's get you guys over here.
Waiting orders. On my way. Unit ready now. No problem. On my way. You got it.
You guys weren't kidding. Tic-Tacs and Cyborgs are the move.
You got it. You got it. Yes, sir.
All right, let's get over here.
Ready for action. Sir? Unit reporting.
Unit ready.
Sir? Unit reporting.
No, no, I want all of you to be Group 1. There we go. Ba. You guys can all still hear me, right? Shogun Sam, why are the screams so melodramatic? I can't take them seriously like any of the young ones. They added some extra screams for when Firestorm was a thing, and they retroactively added them in Tiberian Sun. They weren't quite as bad in the original game. There we go. There we go.
Waiting orders.
My anti-air division.
Ready for action. Sir? No problem.
My guys. Let's freaking go.
Sir?
Alright, like you said, Luke Danger, this is the auxiliary base.
You got it.
Astrologic. Also, the original developers of Most Wanted died too, so we're going to take over the studios. Could be trusted. Really, yeah. Need for Speed used to be my favorite racing franchise. What the shrimp? Do we not have SAM sites? Anyway. Alright. Let's head down. I think we can move up this way. Definitely, you're right, Firestorm. That was a big no-no for me. Ugh, man. You guys have been great. You guys have been great.
Sir?
Whew.
Loud and clear. Proceeding.
I'm just waiting for somebody to comment something that triggers another one of my rants.
Unit ready. Waiting orders. Waiting orders.
Oh, here we go.
Unit lost.
There we go. Let's get some more tick tanks in the mix.
Building.
Luke Danger says, I can ask about your favorite Tiberian Twilight units if you want to trigger. What was the name of like that mirror tank? That tank that like would reflect things back? I thought that was a fun unit. Maybe it was called the Reflector. Right, missiles.
Building. Chemical missile ready.
Of course it's ready.
Select target. Unit ready.
Geek Defensive Initiative. Also, I have a problem with villains in general is that there are so few villains who are truly idealistic. In what regard? Can you expand upon that, Geek Defensive Initiative? That sounds like a really fun line of conversation right there. Chase Baker, Soviet victory leads to Tiberian dawn. How dare you say that in my chat, Chase Baker? Luke Danger, the GDI Reflector? Yeah, I think it's the Reflector. I think that was probably my favorite season. Or either that or the Kodiak. I really like the Kodiak. I thought that was super cool. Also, the Mastodon, I thought was a great reinterpretation of a Mammoth Mark II that you can build multiple of. Geek Defensive Initiative. And when they have villains who are idealistic, it's portrayed as making them redeemable instead of making them dangerous. Yes! 100%. 100%. Yeah, so basically, the idea of, I think a lot of people are afraid these days of, oh, if we make our villains too idealistic, then people will like them and start to agree with them, and we can't have that. But then there's like, but if they do have things that make point, then we have to go the whole way and make them redeemable and make them like, oh, they're not that bad. And it's like, no, some of the worst villains in history believe they were doing the right thing. And that's what makes people dangerous. Not necessarily believing you're doing the right thing. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is like, you can be totally convinced that you're right and still be evil. I think a lot of people make the mistake of like, I mentioned this before, but like Thanos, of like, oh, he believes entirely what he's doing is for the right thing, and he has understandable and sympathetic reasons for what he's doing. Therefore, he's not a villain. I'm like, what are you talking about? Almost every villain in history has sympathetic reasons for what they're doing. That doesn't make them any less evil. Do you not understand what evil is? Yeah. We've had this conversation before, but if you want to expound upon it, feel free. Shogun Sam says Umagon is underused. Yeah, perhaps. I think the Forgotten overall are just underused in the CNC universe. I think there's a lot of potential that could have been there. And I think somebody else mentioned this before, but like Umagon was thrown out of Firestorm very quickly, which is a shame. Loot Danger, or redeemable villains. Too many people mistake sympathetic for redeemable. Honestly, I think there's a point of having a cool motive, still murder, plus it can make them more terrifying. Exactly. Like, to me, Thanos is a great villain because he absolutely thinks he's doing the right thing. And that's horrifying. Like, I brought it up this before, but, like, Hitler was like, oh, yeah, the Treaty of Versailles was awful, which it was objectively awful. I'm going to save Germany. And the idea that somebody could be genuinely, or at least maybe started out genuinely trying to help their people and then became such a monster doesn't diminish the fact that they're a monster. You know, I think that shows that, you know, we're all human and that we have to be able to like have community and have people with us who can call us out on our crap, because we are all capable of doing great and terrible things. And I think if we don't learn that lesson, it can be easy to say, I'm beyond any sort of oversight. I'm beyond criticism because I would never do those things. Having a sober-minded reality of what humans are capable of, I think, is how you guard against evil in both others and in yourself. Shogun Sam says, or just didn't care and was happy to be there, like the Emperor in Star Wars. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Just a pure evil villain that is basically just Satan can be fun too. The Emperor doesn't really need to have sympathetic reasons for what he's doing. He's just evil. You know, Vader already fulfills that role. Sometimes characters who are villains are not supposed to actually represent like humans who are evil. They're supposed to represent evil as a concept overall. And that's what Palpatine is. He's not supposed to be like an understandable human villain. He's supposed to represent the evil that can reside in anyone's hearts overall. He's a symbolic representation of evil. And in that case, it's totally okay that you don't go into his backstory or anything. I know the book Darth Plagueis kind of goes into it, but even in that one, he's very unsympathetic, and I think that's good. Hold up. What are we doing here?
Chemical missile ready.
Frostbird says, what about anti-heroes? Anti-heroes are interesting. I think a lot of people try to take straight-up villains and say they're anti-heroes, and in my opinion, like, nope, they're still evil. Anti-heroes are more interesting. I think anti-heroes work better when they're, like, damaged people. Like, Punisher is a great example. He's a guy that, you know, is killing bad guys, but is clearly, like, mentally not all there because of... And I don't mean, like, not all there, but I mean, like, he's damaged. He's clearly damaged in that he's been through a lot, and that makes him an interesting character. Anti-heroes generally aren't really people to aspire to. They're more, like, sober-minded, like, observations of how humans deal with trauma. Not all the time. There are definitely some anti-heroes that, like, teach us things, and it may be something you can aspire to in certain ways. I don't know, I'm probably not making a lot of sense. Luke Danger, as you said, believing they do the right thing, or believing that what they do is needed, but fully aware of how evil it is and feel that it's worth it. That can be quite terrifying as a villain. Yeah, no, exactly. Stubbornness and not being able to break from your beliefs is kind of terrifying to me. Not that we shouldn't stick up for what we believe. Like Captain America and Superman are a good example of like sticking to your guns, planting yourself like a tree and not budging. But that can be just as dangerous in another sense. Shogun Sam, trying to rationalize everything. Exactly. If you've become a person that not even your friends can call you out. Like I think there was a story of a woman who actually knew Hitler when he was young. And then when he came to power, she was like, what are you doing? You're doing all these horrible things to these groups like the Jews and the disabled and everyone else. And his response was like, oh, you're too sentimental. Like, and she was aghast. Like, this was the same guy that she knew when she was younger. And to me, that's horrifying because it's like, yeah, humans are capable of this. Regular humans. Nesta Logic, talking more about Need for Speed. Firestorm, because it's probably going to be the actress back. Yeah, for sure. Shogun San, they want to have their cake and eat it too narratively. Yeah. And that's why I think, like, if you're going to write evil, you need to have a good understanding of... I honestly think the only thing really necessary to understand evil is just to understand your own human nature. Because I think we all start with the same thing. We just... Some people take it really far. But it's all the same base impulses and whether or not you fight them or not. Yeah, sweeping the map for lingering units. Got to do that. Geek Defensive Initiative. Darth Sidious is cool because he fits the setting. He's the dark side embodied. Exactly. You just got to know what you're doing with your villain and what you're going for. There's not necessarily a wrong way. You just have to know what it is you're doing, what you're going for, and if you execute it properly. Trevor Lane says, heck, Punisher started out as a Spider-Man villain. Really? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Shogun Sam, Anakin was a tragic villain while the Emperor was just villain. Sociopath versus psychopath. Yeah, I'm not a psychologist, so I'm not going to comment on whether that's an accurate use of those terms. But, yeah, no. The spirit of what you said, 100%. That's the case, and I think that's what makes that story so great. Geek Defensive Initiative, or maybe so blind by your arrogance you don't realize what you're doing is evil. Exactly. Oh, hey, Ozzy. Geek Defense Edition, like Robespierre. Yeah, Robespierre started out like as a revolutionary who wanted to do good things, and then just became incredibly bloodthirsty.
No problem. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Waiting order.
But yeah, I think that's why it's so important. I feel like what I've told my friends about this, but like it's so important for you to have friends who aren't yes men. You want to have friends who can call you out on your crap. To me, that's the mark of a good friend. Somebody who's not only able to see when you're being stupid, but also be willing to call you out on it. And hopefully you've created an environment with your friends where they feel comfortable calling you out on your crap. I think the minute you could no longer be called out by your friends, or you start viewing criticism as betrayal, that's when you've gone down a dark path that you could very easily be doing evil things and thinking that you're doing the right thing. I think that's why it's super important not to isolate yourself and to make sure that you have that sort of thing. And of course, it's important to have the right kind of friends, because you could have friends who correct you and gaslight you, and you're not actually doing anything wrong in certain cases. So, you know, it goes both ways. Luke Danger says, different types of villains work differently. Gotta use the right tool for the job. Sometimes you just need a big, laughing, evil megalomaniac. Yeah. And sometimes you want sympathy, and sometimes you can mix it. Exactly. You just gotta know what you're going for and execute it properly. I think the problem I have with a lot of modern villains is they muddle a lot of those. And part of that might be personal, because I think a lot of that, what the culture says about evil and villainy, I just fundamentally disagree with. So that might be part of the problem too, is it's coming from my point of view. Frostburn says, Shogun Sam got it all on Mark. Yeah, I would agree. See, Shogun Sam, you should start a channel. We would love to hear what you have to say. Trevin Lane. Yet Punisher was hired by JJJ to capture Spider-Man. It was so popular, got his own comic. Nice. And Aussie didn't know that. Geek Defense Initiative, which circles back to why I want so much to do an adaptation of the Scarlet Pimpernel one day. Really? Why is that? Feel free to explain in the chat. Astrologic. I find it funny that both the NFS and CNC universe have so many things in common, both under EA license, both under Thin Ice for now. Exactly. It's really sad. I grew up with Need for Speed. I didn't play a lot of like the mid to late stuff. I played like the really early stuff, like the original Hot Pursuit and Need for Speed 2. But I have a lot of love in my heart for that franchise, and it's sad to see how EA is dealing with it now. Shogun Sam says, very insightful. Dang, thanks, I'm touched. Yeah, you should be. Geek Defense Edition. One thing I love about the Pimpernel, particularly noticeable in Season 1 of the 99 show, is that Percy and Marguerite are the exact opposite politics. Wait, there's a show? Because I was just talking about the book, which I still need to read. If there's a show that I could get into, I would love to watch that. That sounds like something that'd be right up my alley. Historical fiction is my thing, guys. Shogun Sam says, you all rule. Yeah, give yourselves a pat on the back. I've said it before, and I'll say it multiple times, but, like, you guys are one of the most, like, civil and, like, intellectual and great communities on YouTube. Normally, you can't find all of that on the internet without it being super toxic. Ozzy says, I give pat on back. Geek Defense Edition is a show from 99. I assume you mean 1999. Yeah, I'll look it up, see what I can do. Geek Defense Edition. Only 6 episodes, but only 3 are worth watching. Oh, okay. Still, that sounds like it's not that much of a time commitment, so that's even better for me. Found the airbase and the bombers. About time. Geek Defense Initiative. Every episode is like 2 hours long. Ah, so the BBC strategy. Gotcha. Shogun Sam, I was thinking about doing etymology of names. Oh, really? What about that interests you? Woo! In the name of Cain! Got hoovered up. Congrats, everybody. Logic says, and both franchises have 2 studios EA has closed down, with CNC Universe having Westwood Studios and ELA shut down, and a Need for Speed Universe having Black Box and Ghost Games shut down. Yeah, no. It is really not cool what they did to Ghost Games. Shogun Sam, like planets and items and people. Like in fiction? Because that could be cool. Geek Defensive Initiative. Not particularly accurate in terms of the story, but there's way too much action instead of a cerebral storytelling. Gotcha. Blicky with the Switch. It's eat your cake and have it too, for the love of cake. Shogun Sam. I only speak one language fluently, but love origins of names. Yeah, no, that could be really cool. You should experiment, see what you like. I definitely did a lot of experimentation with my channel. I started off with Let's Play stuff, then I moved over to the Playground channel. I did a video essay on Assassin's Creed before I landed on Tiberian Sun. So yeah, experiment a bit, see what people vibe with. Geek Defense Edition, but the characterization is on point. Nice. Luke Danger. Kane, I am disappointed. You only fired 3 chemical missiles. This is supposed to be testing these missiles in numbers. Like, well, Kane, maybe you should have made your chemical missiles more effective, or, you know, find ways to reveal the map so I could use them more easily. Styles RJ, in the name of Kane, welcome to the chat. I don't think you've been here yet. Glad to have you here. Shogun Sam, love to know where things got their names. Kind of straightforward. Yeah, that's super cool. Pancakes. Geek Defense Edition. I think it's a great entry point to the Pimpernel mythos. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Shogun Sam, history baked into the words we speak. Tolkien would love to talk with you. There's also 2 movies I haven't seen. Yeah, my sister was super into the Scarlet Pimpernel. She watched a movie. I can't remember which one. Geek Defense Edition. There's a musical on YouTube that's probably one of the most accurate adaptations, especially with the relative focus on Marguerite. Gotcha. All right. I don't think we'll have time to do another mission, but I'll get a little bit further and see what's going on. Let me mute the mic so we can get the... sound like Obama. Let's get the cutscene.
I'm lending you a squadron of attack fighters from my elite guard. I want you to destroy the mammoth prototype GDI has constructed. They're praying it's their salvation. Remind them whose side the gods are on.
Okay. And we're in Great Britain, everybody. Hang on. One sec. Okay. Yes, this is the Mammoth Mark II mission. I'm so happy. I love this mission as a kid. This was super fun. I think it's the one we have the Stealth Commando. Yeah, you're a little late, Stars RJ, but don't worry. We're going to play a little bit longer and then we'll end, but no worries. Shogun Sam, he'd be disappointed in my grammar, though. To be fair, Tolkien would be disappointed in a lot of things. He was a pretty critical guy. Frostburn, Banshee time. Okay. The gods may be on your side, but we have railguns on ours. Indeed. All right. Let's go ahead and see what this mission has to do with us.
We must destroy GDI's new weapon. They will, of course, build more in the future, but it will buy us valuable time. We know GDI is testing the Mammoth somewhere in this sector. Use a chameleon spy to infiltrate a GDI comm center and locate the test site. Your fighter prototype should be all you need to obliterate the nuisance.
Nice. I remember really loving this mission as a kid. All right, let's go. Okay. All right. Let's go. This is one of the few fixed force missions I actually adore. So, yeah, by the way, for those of you guys who are here, remember I mentioned that if you want to send stuff to my HTC Snowman Gaming at gmail.com account, either that or it's httcsnowman at gmail.com. I can't remember which one it is. I'll put the correct one in the comments of this live stream once it's over. Feel free to send me any sort of intelligence database or even just samples of your writing, because in the future I'm going to be doing a project on the first Tiberium War. and I want to have you guys contribute as well. Basically, your own intelligence database style articles for things happening during the First Tiberian War. Also, I want voice work, so if any of you guys are talented at voice acting, if you want to give your samples to there as well at hscsnowmangaming@gmail.com or hscsnowman@gmail.com. Again, I'll put the correct email address in the comments of this live stream when we're done. Would love to see what you got. Oh, can this guy not even shoot? Luke Danger? Styles RJ, no AI writing or voice work either? Absolutely not. I have all of you guys who are full of passion for the CNC universe. Why would I ever need AI? Also, I have no idea how to use it. So, yeah. Shogun Sam, thank you so much for repeating. Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, I'll do an official video to actually announce all the information and everything. This is still early on in the process, but I'm letting you guys know because I like to reward the people that show up for my live streams. Blicky with the Switch says, leaving now. Good luck with this mission. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Geek Defense Mission. Nice to talk, by the way. And it's nice to hear some divergent opinions. I need to do it more. Yeah, no, absolutely. That was something I mentioned. Is like I can tell that a lot of us have different opinions on things, even like politically. But we're all very civil here, and we have intelligent conversation. I really appreciate it. So if we could all do our best to keep it that way, I would appreciate it. Because this is one of the few areas on the internet that I get to have conversations like this, and I really would like to keep that, if at all possible. All right, what do I got to get this guy into again? Get the spy into one of the GDI comm centers. Destroy it. Is that this thing? Is this what I got to get him into? Okay. Let me look at the chat real quick. No AI stuff. Snowman is a boomer and doesn't know how to... Don't call me a boomer! Luke Danger. Chameleon spies aren't shadows. Yeah, they don't shoot, but they're just cloaked and they can enter structures. Good line of sight, though. Yeah. Shogun Sam. Thanks. Just please keep what you have in mind for the energy vibes message you want to get across. Sure. Geek Defense Edition says, bye, guys. Good to see you. Have a good time here. Shogun Sam, I want to make sure you get what you want to get across. Comm Center, the Comm Center. You're looking for the GI upgrade centers. There are 3 of them on the map. Okay, so that's this one. Let's go inside then. Oh, I love this part. Let's freaking go. Oh, it's beautiful. It's super effective. Let's go. I wouldn't say it's equally deadly. That's a bit of a... You guys catfish me on its anti-air capabilities. Oh, cool. Oh, I didn't even realize we got a base for this mission. All right, well, I might stop here then, but we will continue next time. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. If there's any last-minute questions you want to ask before we end, feel free to do it now. I'm going to check the chat, and then I'm going to end off. Shogun Sam says, God bless the mammoth tank. Indeed. Chase Baker says, hey, Snowman, what is your favorite fixed force mission from any of the CNCs? Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'll probably just mention the few ones off the top of my head that I really like. I like the GDI one where you destroy the radar arrays. I know it's super hard, but I love playing that as a kid. I think that one is really cool. I really like the map design. Like I said, this one I kind of like when you start with the Chameleon Spy. I liked the Hammerfist base one where you start out with just the 3 MLRSs that we have to hover around the ice. And the only other one I could think of is in Command & Conquer Generals 0 Hour, the one where you play as Colonel Burton, and you have to rescue the POWs and destroy the start an avalanche to destroy the GLA information center. Those are the ones that come quickly in my head. There's probably more. Super Challenge. Aussie says, we will continue next time on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Snow Fieri. Shogun Sam says, thanks a lot, and it was an honor. Absolutely. Trevor Lane says, have a great weekend, everybody. It's been a blast. Thank you for always helping me, Trevor Lane. Frostburn. Thank you too, Snow, for this Saturday. I'll see you next time. Absolutely. Styles RJ, my least favorite is Tiberian Dawn, GDI Mission 6. Yeah, Shogun Sam. I will have a different name on Discord. I will say who I am and something we did discuss once. Yeah, if you want to, just use the code word Scarlet Pimpernel. Then I'll know it's you. Or something else, because everybody else here already knows that now. Styles RJ, the spy comes back on one level before you get the Hammer Fist Ion codes. Yes. Any Tanya mission rocks? Absolutely, Shogun Sam. I also like the underground missions. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I do. Tanya's fantastic. Yeah, thank you for the salute, Firestorm. Nastalogic says, but with that delay, it's really sad to see the series doing compared to what it's supposed to. Need for Speed as a franchise is getting shelved. Speed Hunter's probably defunct. Need for Speed Rivals shut down last month. Yeah, it really sucks. Luke Danger, thanks for having us. I'll look for the email and let you know. Absolutely. Thank you all for coming. I will see you all next time. Welcome back, Commanders.
Battle control offline.